we are entering Tier 2 of the Battles of Common Clash Season 2. There's going to be 16 in this tier, 8 in the next, then 4, then 2, and then the finals. And now this season, the winner is going to get the same benefit they got last year, where the winning army card transfers over to the next season, and the losing army card is eliminated. However, this season, there's going to be harsher consequences on the losers. There are 9 Valkyrie generals here. Obviously, only one of them can possibly win. Or maybe it'll face itself like last time. Either way, the losing army card of the finals is eliminated. And then we will go down the list here and eliminate 7 more army cards. And here's how it's going to work. We'll say Vidar wins the match. And for this sake, we'll say it's a Vidar versus Vidar army card. So the winning army card would advance. The losing army card would advance. Now, he's safe from other eliminations, but there has to be 7 other eliminations. So in order of loss cubes, we would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these would all be tied. So it would be either Utgar, Ular, Jandar, or Einar. This is going to be vastly different by the finals, but that's how it's going to work. There's got to be 7 other army cards after the final loser that get eliminated. And how that is going to work is going to be points in ascending order. So if Utgar was to lose, or if Vidar was to win and the loser was the other Vidar card, here's how the 6 army cards for Utgar would look being eliminated. So again, using that example as the stats sit now, this is not going to be the final results because Utgar could win. But we used a example of Vidar versus Vidar. So, say the final match was the Microcore Agents and the Warforged Soldiers, the 2 Vidar units that have made it to this tier so far. One of these would be eliminated out of the 2 if they were the final. Then, we would look at the list, as I said, look at Utgar, and here would be his 6 army cards that would be deleted. The Nagrubs, the Gruts, the Blade Gruts, the Death Reavers, the Goblin Cutters, and the Mar Dividers. Arrow Gruts, not just Gruts. And the Marden Nagrubs. So then that would be those 6. Then we reach the tie here with Einar, Jandar, Ular, and Utgar. And we would take a look at their lowest points ones that are next. Obviously the drones are going to be safe from 50, but we've got 40, 40, 40. So we will have a tiebreaker again, which would mean we'd go down to these colored cubes that I've been doing, and we'd start with the most recent battle working left until we had the color of the first general that lost, which in this case, out of Ular, Jandar, and Einar, would be Jandar. The repulsors would be eliminated. And those armies would not appear in future seasons until, I don't know, either I cycle all the seasons or I get bored with not having them and put them back in. But that would be 8 army cards eliminated from the game, because the game is being actively produced and the seasons would only get longer and longer and longer, and eliminating 1 army card a season probably won't work out. Well, technically 2 by putting the winner until we get down to all the winners. But I just had to speed it up a little bit. That's not going to happen every season, but season 2, it's going to be a little bit bigger of a culling than we had at season 1. Now, what that also does is keeps the generals that have far fewer army cards in total and variety than the other generals. Like Utgar has over 80 army cards in the game, and Valkyrie only has and will always only have 4 unless some legal miracle happens where he gets allowed to be put back in the game. So his units are going to be safe for a lot longer than these generals that have beefy amounts. So Utgar really wants to win this to keep his armies in the game. And by the way, this was also a little preview of the next tier of battles because they were all randomized except one and put in the order of how they are going to fight. And regarding units like this that come off of scenarios, they will automatically be eliminated with or without a match, depending on the amount of army cards, if I can do a nice even amount of battles. Because if there's one more army card or whatever than there is, so it doesn't match up with anybody, that's where these fillers come in. Otherwise, they are considered eliminated. And finally, Season 2 is going to end with all the 2025 releases. There's some new common units upcoming in February, March, April, and May, but those will be for Season 3.